right, inequalities. All right. I don't want you to write this down. Do you guys remember in elementary school? Don't write this down. When the teacher's like, okay, we have the number 5 and we have the number 2. And maybe in elementary school, you guys did like the Pac-Man or the alligator. And it would be like, okay, which number is bigger, the alligator or Pac-Man? Eats the bigger number. Do you guys remember doing that in elementary school?
Yeah.
And then you would put
Remember that.
this symbol in the little circle. And then you're like, oh yeah, the 5 is bigger. So the alligator, I learned it as the alligator with teeth. Some of you might have learned it with Pac-Man, but the key was that the alligator had to eat the bigger number. That's what made the alligator happy. Literally, this is what I learned in elementary school. So hopefully you guys remember this, doing this in elementary school, right? Hopefully. All right. What you guys did in elementary school is something that we need to apply to today. So what you learned back then, we're going to need it today. All right. Does anybody in the class know what this inequality symbol is called? What the name of this is actually called? Does anybody know?
No.
No? Okay. So it's actually called the less than inequality. So this symbol is called the less than. All right. And then the opposite of the less than would be this symbol. Does anybody know what we call this symbol? This symbol is called less than. Does anybody take a wild guess what this one's called?
Greater than.
Yep.
Greater than.
Yep, exactly. Greater than. Oops, that's one word. Greater than. So this first one is called less than, and this second one is called greater than. They're opposites of each other. Now, literally, as your teacher, this is how I remember which one's less than and which one's greater than. The less than one, the symbol looks like an L. It's kind of squished, but it's in the same direction as the L. See how it's in the same direction as the L? So this one, the one that looks like an L, is your less than symbol, okay? The one that's totally not looking like an L whatsoever, that's called your greater than symbol, okay? Now, let's see if we can put 2 and 2 together. What if I have this symbol, which is your less than symbol, and I add a line at the bottom? I add an additional line at the bottom. Does anybody know what we call this new symbol?
Less than or equal to.
Very good, Daniel. This symbol is called less than or equal to. This line that I just added at the bottom, it's like half an equal sign. I mean, if I cover this up, there you go. There's your equal sign, right? So it's like a combo. It has a less than symbol and it has part of an equal to symbol. So we call this whole thing less than or equal to. Everything. This is the proper name of it. Less than or equal to. It's not, oh, or I get to choose. No, it's the whole thing. It's called less than or equal to. All right. So we got one more to talk about. That symbol. So any guesses on what we call this brand new symbol?
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to. Exactly. So greater than or equal to. That is its whole name. It has a very long name, like some of you do. Some of you have very long names. This one does too. Greater than or equal to. That is the name. Make sure you're copying this down. Okay? It's very important that you copy down the symbols and what they're called. Okay? It's like vocabulary. And we're going to be using these vocabulary words a lot. So if your answer is that symbol right there, well, how are you going to tell me? Oh, Miss O'Malley, my answer is greater than. Oh, okay, cool. You're right. You're wrong. Whatever. Very important that you copy this down. It's also worth points because you have to take a picture of this later. All right. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to ask you to do the following, and it's not going to make any sense, but it's super important. With this symbol right here, the less than symbol, I want you to draw me an open circle next to it, a circle. With the greater than one, I want you to draw me a circle next to that one as well. The less than or equal to, I want you to draw me a circle, but this time, I want you to color it in. And for the last one, the greater than or equal to, I want you to draw me a circle and color it in as well. Now, before I move on, I'm going to give you some time to copy this down. Do you think that you can memorize this without copying it down in your notes? Do you think this is something, especially once I start going into like how do we use this, is something you can just memorize one time after you see it today? No. This is why it's very, very important for you to copy this down and have it permanent in your notebook. You're going to go back and look at this minimum of like 10 times today in class. You're going to go back and look at this about 10 times today. And then and on Wednesday, you're going to go back and look at this again. Okay? And then eventually you're going to memorize it, but you're going to use this part of your notes so much for the next like 2 weeks. You have no idea. So make sure you copy all this down. These open and closed circles, they mean something. I'm not ready to explain it to you, but they mean something. And I need you to copy them down. So that open circle goes with that one. Open circle, these closed circles go there. All right? All right, cool. Now, the first thing I got to teach you, first thing, maybe the second thing. Second thing I got to teach you today, but really the first thing, is how to graph inequalities. Okay, we're going to graph inequalities. So we're going to have this first problem. X is less than 2. Okay, so I'm going to teach you today how to graph them. And here is your inequality. X is less than 2. X is less than 2. So literally it says X is less than 2. Okay? This sentence right here, this math sentence, says X is less than 2. So X is a number, right? And in this situation, it stands for a lot of numbers, not just one number. I'm looking for numbers that are less than, smaller than the number 2. So imagine in your head right now, which numbers are smaller or less than the number 2? Which numbers are right now floating in your mind? Which numbers are less than 2? There's hopefully a bunch of numbers in your head right now, all smaller than 2, right? I hope. Okay, so we're going to graph those answers. All those numbers that you have in your head, we're going to graph them. What we do is we start off with a number line. Okay, we start off with a line. It's going to be created a number line. This is the work I'm going to be checking later. This. Okay, whatever number they give you is going to be the number in the middle. Don't write 0 in the middle. Because if they give you a number 156, I don't want you to start at 0, right? You're going to start with the number that they give you. You put it right in the middle. Okay? Now, I want you to think of the two numbers that are smaller than, or go before 2. So which two numbers go before 2? It would be 1 and then 0, right? And then I want you to think of two numbers that are bigger than 2. So which two numbers go after the number 2? 2, 3, and 4. So what we just did there was we just created a number line. Okay? You've done number lines like a million number lines by now, right? Okay. So far, we're okay. We just did a number line. No big deal. Okay. Now, it says X is less than 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a circle on the number 2. Why? Because here we're starting with 2. So we're going to recognize that the 2 is in the problem. So we're going to write 2 right there in the inequality. All right. Okay? Okay, now, here comes the first hard part. We have to decide which numbers are less than 2. Which numbers are less than 2? So, are the numbers on the left side less than 2? On the left side less than 2? Or on the right side? Are these numbers on the right side less than 2? So which numbers are less than 2? On the left side of the circle or on the right side of the circle? Which side? On the left or the right? I see some students in the chat answering that. Cool, cool, cool. Yes. So the left, the 0 and the 1, yes, those numbers are less than 1. I can also prove it to you this way. Is 1 less than 2? So is the alligator eating the bigger number? Yes, right? Is 0 less than 2? Is the alligator still eating the bigger number? Yes. But if I were to choose a number over here, like 4, is 4 less than 2? Is that a true statement right there? 4 less than 2?
No.
No, right? So that means, can I use the 4 in my answer? No. That means I have to use these numbers. These numbers are A-okay. Well, how do I show you that those numbers are A-okay? What you're going to do is you're going to shade in the direction where those numbers are. So this is what we do. We have our circle, and we're going to shade the direction in which we know the answers are located. All the solutions are located on the left side. So we're going to shade on the left side because these numbers, 1, 0, even if I add -1, -100, which is like all the way over here, all of these numbers are solutions to this problem. Meaning I can plug in -100 is less than 2, all of these numbers. And notice on this side, I don't shade because these numbers don't work. No bueno. You'll end up with this, the alligator not being happy because you didn't feed him enough. Okay, so in order to graph, we create a number line. We add a circle where the number is, just a circle. And then you have to decide, which way do you shade? Do you shade the left or do you shade the right? Which numbers make this statement true? Okay, that's what we're learning today. Now, do I expect you to be like experts right now after the first problem? Absolutely not. No. And right now, some of you might feel like, what just happened? Huh? What? Why is she shading? Where's that circle coming from? Pay attention. It will become easier if you pay attention. All right, let's try one more. By one more, I mean like 5 more. Okay, what if I want you to graph x is less than 10? X is less than 10. Okay, so what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do this in your group work, you're gonna graph, so like let's pretend we're in a group. This is your assignment, graph this. So in your notebook, you would start by creating a number line. And what number goes right in the middle? This number. Whatever this number is goes right in the middle. So I'm going to write the number 10. Okay? This is the type of work I'm going to be checking. Okay? I'm going to be checking that you're writing this number in the middle. Now, I ask that you write 2 numbers that are below it and 2 numbers that are above it to create a nice number line. So fill in the numbers that go on the bottom of this number line. 12, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all I'm asking, okay? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to put a circle wherever this number is. So this number is 10, so I'm going to have a circle on there, okay? Now, this sentence says x is less than 10, right? So which numbers are less than 10? On the left side or on the right side? Which numbers are less than 10?
Left side.
Left side. So what that means again is I'm going to shade, draw some lines, shade. If you have a pencil, you just shade to the left side. Because that means that all of these numbers, if I plug them in, will work. So if I plug in the number 8, is 8 less than 10? Yes.
Yes.
But if I plug in one of these numbers, like 12, instead of writing X, I write this number, is 12 less than 10? Uh-oh. No, it's not, right? The alligator's not eating the bigger number. Okay, feeling a little bit better about this? Just a little bit? Just a little tiny bit. All right. Let's try doing one that's a little bit different. X is greater than or equal to, let's say, 18. X is greater than or equal to 18. How are you going to start graphing this? So the directions are graph it. Cool. So I'm going to copy the problem down. Then I'm going to draw a number line. Which number goes right in the middle?
18.
18, this number. Don't write 0 unless it's 0. Okay, 18. Now in my class, the expectation is that you write 2 numbers below it and 2 numbers above it. So go ahead, fill in 2 numbers below, 2 numbers above. Okay? Now we're going to put a circle on 18 because that's the number that we're using. And this problem says X is greater than or equal to 18. So this sentence says X is greater than or equal to 18. X is greater than or equal to 18, right? So which numbers on the left side or on the right side, which numbers on the left or the right are the numbers greater than or left or greater than or equal to 18? So which numbers are greater than 18?
Right.
What are they? On the right side or the left? Sorry, I missed that.
Middle and right.
Middle and right. Oh, okay. So on the right side, these numbers are going to be greater than or equal to 18. For example, if I were to write 20, it's greater than or equal to 18. So is the alligator eating the bigger number? Yes. So I use the same problem, plug them in. Yes, the alligator is happy. It's eating the bigger one, right? If I were to put 16 in there, is the alligator eating the bigger one? No, it's going to be quite upset because you only gave him 16 instead of 18. So that's why I don't shade this section, because these numbers are not okay. They would make the statement false. Okay, now, do you guys see this extra little line? The equal to part? So what does that mean? Well, if I were to use the number 18, is 18, this is brand new guys, pay attention. Is 18 greater than or equal to 18?
Yes.
Yes. What part is it? It's the equal to
Equal
part, right? 18 is greater than or equal to 18. So when you have the equal to part, pay attention. When you have the equal to part, you're going to go back and shade in the circle. We call it a closed circle. We're going to shade in the circle because this statement is true. 18 is in fact greater than or equal to 18. Because it has this equal to part, we have to shade in the circle. It makes it true. Notice that we have the 2 circles here that are closed when we have the greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. When you just have a regular less than or regular greater than, we have open circles. But when we have that extra little line at the end, at the bottom, we have closed circles when we graph them. This one, it didn't have that extra little line. And if I were to write here in your notes, is 2 less than 2? Is that an accurate statement, a true statement? Is 2 less than 2?
No.
No, right? It's not less than, it's equal to. So that's why we have an open circle, because technically 2 is really not part of our answers. We're just using it as a placeholder because 2 is not less than 2. But when you have that extra little line, we're going to shade in our circle because it makes it a true statement. So that extra little line means a closed circle. Okay? Let's try to do one more. X is less than or equal to 11. Try doing that. Get a head start. I'm going to check on something. Okay. So you created your number line, right? 11 goes there, 2 numbers below it, and 2 numbers above it, right? Now you're going to put a circle on 11. And you can do this now if you want. Is it going to be an open circle or a closed circle?
Close.
Closed. Because it has this extra little line at the bottom, we're going to have a closed circle. So we're going to shade it in. We're going to have a closed circle because of that little tiny little line. That means equal to, we're going to have a closed circle. Now it says x is less than or equal to 11. So which numbers are less than 11? To the left or to the right?
Left.
Left. So we're going to shade this way. Any questions? I know it's a lot, but you have to take it one step at a time. Step 1, draw the number line. Step 2, place your circle and ask yourself, is it going to be open or closed? If it has that extra little line, it's closed. Then the last part, which is the tricky part, is to determine, okay, which numbers are less than 11, or in this case, greater than, right? You have to just take 10 seconds to ask yourself, which side am I going to shade? Which side represents the less than side? Which side represents the greater than sign? All right, I got one more to do because I got to teach you the negatives. I forgot. X is greater than or equal to -5. -5. Ooh, no. Oh my gosh, we have negative numbers. Oh, what are you going to do? You're going to do the same thing. Number line. What number goes in the middle? -5. Now, this is where kids mess up. This is the number one things kids mess up. Which 2 numbers go below it and which 2 numbers go above it? They always mess this up.
Below it go -6 and -7. Above it go -4, -3.
Well, yeah. I mean, you didn't mess it up. So this is -6 on this side and -7. But kids want to put these numbers on this side because they're like, no, after 5 comes 6 and 7. Yeah, but we're in the negative line. And the negative line, everything is backwards. So -4, -3. And somewhere over here is 0, right? Because we're in the negative land. So be careful when you're graphing negatives to switch them, okay? Open or closed circle?
Close.
Closed. So closed circle here. So you're like more than halfway done now. Now, ask yourself, okay, on the left side or the right side, which numbers are greater than or equal to -5? Which numbers are greater than -5? On the left side or the right side?
Right side.
Right side. Over here. Because remember, like even over here is like the number 50, right? And we know for sure that the number 50 is way bigger than -5. So we have to shade this way. Sometimes when you're dealing with negative numbers, it's easier to think of like a really big positive number over here and be like, okay, does this make sense? Can I plug in, is 50 greater than or equal to -5? Yes, the alligator's eating the biggest number. Sometimes when I do this to kids, when I go, okay, plug in -7. Is -7 greater than or equal to -5? Sometimes kids make a mistake. They're like, yeah, because it's 7, but it's not 7, it's negative. So this would be a no, but this is a yes. We like this. We like the number 50. So we're going to shade in the direction